Welcome to Friday Night Football Talk. I am Fidel Barraza. Alongside with me, Kendall Whitley, SK Patrick, and our special guest tonight, Michael Harris. How you doing?
All right, how you guys doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. How's everybody doing tonight?
Great, great. All right, Michael. So you know why you're on here. So let's talk about this Chiefs and Bills game, AFC Championship game. Let me get your thoughts on the game.
Uh, as the game stands right now, and with Patrick Mahomes clearing concussion protocols, I'm kind of excited to see what we're gonna do defensively, more or less. I know a lot of people have been focused on Patrick Mahomes and everything that he's gone through, but this Bills offense has been rocking and rolling, and Diggs is looking like a man that's playing possessed. And if we can't slow down Diggs, I think it's going to be a long day for our defense. And that's really where, for me personally, that's where been my focal point. And then I think for the Bills on the defensive side of the ball, it's if they can generate a good pass rush. I think the Bills pass rush has been really lackluster for the last couple of games, and then their rushing attack has been lackluster. But if I had to pick the game today, as it stands right now, and the way the Bills are playing, they're the hot hand. They're playing good ball right now, and the Chiefs look kind of rattled, coming off a really tough win against the Browns. They're a really good team as well. I might have to take the Bills in this one, reluctantly, but yeah, I'll probably take the Bills in this one.
Now let's talk about Patrick Mahomes for a little bit. So obviously the biggest question of the week was he going to be able to play on Sunday due to the concussion he suffered against the Browns? But no one's really talking about that foot or toe injury he suffered before that. So I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to that, what we notice is after the 2018 AFC Championship game, they played a lot of man coverage in that game, and Patrick understood that then now he needs to create another level of offense for the Chiefs by using his legs. And so what we've seen throughout the 2019 season was that he started to use his legs more when teams were trying to play man with the zone over the top, trying to take away Tyreek and a couple other guys. And he started using his legs, and you start to see these running lanes open. Had the crazy big run against Tennessee in the AFC Championship game last year. Had some good runs against the Houston Texans in a divisional round last year as well. So when it comes to that foot or that toe injury, now we're starting to be concerned is because that's another level of this defense or not defense, another level of this offense that's going to probably be taken away from him, where we can't create that or get that extra 10 yards or the extra first down. That could be a problem not early in the game, but definitely late in the game when we need those scarce first downs when we're trying to put the drive or put the game away or try and put together a long drive to go down and score. So him, and then like we've seen the option, like Andy Reid's running the option, obviously with the concussion situation, but we've seen the option be a big part of this offense as well with Patrick Mahomes. So that foot can definitely play a bigger role than I think people are not talking about than it could be. Like it could be scary, honestly, if he's not able to be mobile like he's been over the last couple of years.
And we got Lamar Wallace chiming in. Bills may have been hot, but Baltimore held them to 10 points. They can be stopped. Excellent point.
Yeah, no, I agree. The Bills are high right now, and the thing is Baltimore defense was coming on. I think the Baltimore defense are starting to play with a little bit of swagger. They have a stronger secondary than the Chiefs have. The pass rush for the Chiefs this year has been kind of scarce for me personally. Not what I expected when you got $200+ million invested in pass rush, and we're not getting after the quarterback. And so that's been scarce for me. So I think with the Ravens were playing more inspired football against the Bills. They were trying to play a little bit harder, I think personally, especially for their quarterback. All the naysayers about Lamar Jackson. I think Baltimore have a slightly better defense than the Chiefs do as of right now, and so that's what scares me the most. I don't know if the Chiefs have the secondary like Baltimore does. Baltimore's got 2 to 3 1 corners. Like you take Marcus Humphrey.
Peter.
Yeah, Peters. Yeah, you take Peters or Humphreys. You take them, put them on any other roster. They're one. Jimmy Smith can be a one on another team, and so it's like they have 2 to 3 guys that can play the one corner spot, and that secondary is really strong for Baltimore. I don't think it gets enough credit. But yeah, they did control the Bills for the most part. If it weren't for the pick six, we probably would have been having a different conversation about as far as who's visiting Kansas City.
My last question for you: the Chiefs win if
The Chiefs win if we can slow down Josh Allen. If we can get pressure on Josh Allen and we can keep him contained and not let him go wild with his legs, make sure that we get him controlled for the most part, and make him beat us with somebody else other than Diggs. Make a guy like John Brown beat you. Make a guy like Cole Beasley beat you. Dawson Knox.
Jerry.
Yeah, like you got to get some other guys to beat you outside of Diggs, because if Diggs gets going and if they start clicking, and that's one thing we've noticed about the Bills this year, when that offense starts to clicking between those two, between Allen and Diggs, that's a scary connection, and it's a really dangerous connection. So I think it really starts with getting pressure on Josh Allen, slowing him down, and then I think it slows down their pass attack. And the Bills are not. I'm not afraid of them running, but it's all about slowing down Josh Allen.
And we got our colleague Jerry Martinez chiming in. Josh Allen can keep up with Mahomes.
He can.
Yeah,
Yes,
their offense can for sure.
If we were to take the playing field and we say here's the same exact skill set and here's the same exact offensive line, I think yes, they can go toe for toe, tick for tack, for sure. But the Chiefs' skill position is way farther along than Bill's skill position, and I think that's the difference maker right there. I've had this conversation with several other people saying that a guy like Tyreek Hill doesn't get the credit that he deserves. He's 5'9", 5'10", and some change, but he's playing like a Calvin Johnson or like a D Hop. He's 50-50 balls with some of the best receivers in NFL history, and then on top of that, he can still blow the brakes off you. Like he's a dangerous receiver, and I think the skill positions of Kansas City tilts the favor into Mahomes a little bit more than to Allen.
Well,
yeah.
go
Go ahead, Eska.
I got a quick question. Because you look at the talent on the Chiefs when you were talking about their skill positions, but to me, in Buffalo, I feel like that offense just fits the Buffalo Bills so great. Like when you look at the Chiefs, Tyreek Hill can just take you off out of nowhere. You don't have to, necessarily drive the ball. Looking at them at the Buffalo Bills, I just feel like that wide receiver core just plays so well within their offense, while sometimes the Chiefs can get outside of their offense just because they're so explosive and they got Mahomes and Tyreek. That's just something to look out. So, just what are your thoughts along those lines?
No, you're completely right. I think that, especially in a year like this year has been, where practices have been limited and OTAs and things of that nature and training camps and everything's been really limited for the most part. But one thing we've noticed is that the chemistry that the Bills have, they don't have the names, they don't have the stars, but because they are playing collectively, you got a guy like Diggs that can work underneath, or he can take the top off himself as well. But then you got a guy like John Brown who can take the top off. You got a guy like Cole Beasley who can work underneath, and they understand how to play off of one another. And Dawson Knox is a no-name guy, but he can still be a threat in the passing attack. And so it's like the Bills understand. It's one of those things where just because you don't have the abundance of somebody else doesn't mean you don't have enough. And I think the Bills have just enough to get enough offense produced. And I think that's where to your point, I think that they play within themselves. They use what they got and they know what they have, and they don't try to get, out of themselves or try to get cute and do anything else. But the Chiefs do have that ability because of guys like Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, we have a plethora of weapons that we can get cute sometimes, but the Bills, they are who they are, and they're going to do exactly what they need to do to win ball games.
Hey, what's going on with you, Mike? Hey, I want to ask you real quick. The first meeting between the Bills and the Chiefs ran for like 200 plus yards. Do you think they're going to come out this week and do it with the same game plan, or just based off how the Bills going to play them?
It's, people talk about this with Andy Reid, and I think Bill Belichick you can say the same thing about him as well, is that they don't show you everything in the regular season. The one thing I think they give you enough. They put some stuff on the film. You see it. They put one play on the film and give you the same formation. And it'd be a whole different play. I wouldn't be surprised if we still hit 100 yards. I don't know if we're going to do 200, but it was kind of a vanilla game. And I don't know if Andy Reid expected to see Buffalo or what, because if you think about it, maybe we would have seen Baltimore. And I mean, we pretty much gave Baltimore everything we had on that Monday night game and some. But when we played Buffalo in Buffalo, it was kind of a vanilla. I mean, to what we've been accustomed to for the Chiefs offense, it was kind of vanilla for the most part. But I think that one thing that they made an emphasis on this year, which I really appreciate, was trying to make a more balanced attack. So now if you're the Bills, all we know is you ran for 200 yards on us. Do we focus the run? And if we focus the run, now we leave things open for Patrick Mahomes. So it's going to be like one of those chess games. We always talk about chess games between coaches. I think it's going to be a really good chess game. I don't know if the Chiefs go for 200 yards again, because I think the Bills are going to come out with the mindset of try to stop the run. But it's hopefully don't, focus, stop the run, and then completely lose Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce.
Speaking of playmakers, give me an X factor for the Chiefs. I mean, who's somebody that we're not talking about that everybody expect? Everybody expect Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce or maybe even Sammy Watkins to do something. Who's an X factor for the Chiefs? I got mine. I want to hear yours.
If we're talking on the offensive side of the ball,
on the offense, yes,
it's probably Mecole Hardman. Realistically,
that's
because
mine.
it's probably Mecole Hardman for sure. Because the way I envision things happening, and Bill Belichick really put out the blueprint for the slow down the Chiefs, if you will. It's take your best corner and put him on the second or third best option. And then that guy completely erased from the game. So if Sammy is up and Sammy is going, now we take, Tre'Davious White and we put him on Sammy Watkins. Now Sammy Watkins is completely erased from the game because Tre'Davious White is that kind of corner. He's a top 5 corner. But then now what I do is I take a guy like Levi Wallace and Micah Hyde and say, hey, I got 2 sets of eyes, 4 eyeballs on number 10 at all times. Yep. And then now, you control Tyreek Hill. He might still get hit, but you control Tyreek Hill. And then a guy like Tremaine Edmonds, I think, doesn't get enough credit. That dude's like 6'4", 6'5", and he runs like a 4.4, 4.5. I think he can run with Kelce. Kelce's still a savvy route runner, but I think he can control Kelce for the most part. And then you still have another safety. I think Jordan Poyer it is that can control you as well with Kelce. So now that leaves Mecole Hardman kind of wide open to be that X factor, or to be that guy. Or even you can make a case for Demarcus Robinson. We've seen show up a couple of times this year as well. So it's not going to be Kelce. It's not going to be Hill. It's not going to be Watkins. It's going to be a guy like Demarcus Robinson or Mecole Hardman or even Byron Pringle at that point. We get really deep on the roster. That's going to have to really take this game over. And then also you can think about Clyde Edwards or Le'Veon Bell. They are going to have to be factored into this as well. So it's definitely, I think realistically, if I had to put my money on anybody, it's going to be Mecole Hardman because I still think we want those deep shots and we want those big bombs.
Along those same lines.
Go ahead.
I would say along those same lines. So you think would be the X factor on defense?
Now that's the $1 million question right there. For me personally, it's going to be a guy like Bashar Breeland, or like a Travarius Ward, or even our rookie L'Jarius Sneed. It's going to be one of our corners. It's got to be one of our corners, not Tyrann Mathieu, because we know Tyrann Mathieu, Honey Badger is going to do what he's going to do. Frank Clark is going to do what he's going to do, and Chris Jones is going to wreck some plays as well. But it's going to be one of our corners. It's going to come down to who's on Diggs and slowing Diggs down. I think that's really what it comes down to. L'Jarius Sneed has shown us that he can possibly play that corner, but is he fast enough? Is he quick enough? Is he savvy enough to actually stay with Diggs? Maybe not. Then now if you take Breeland and you put him over there, now like our corners, we don't have elite corners or speed corners, if you will, but so it kind of opens up the door for guys like John Brown. So I think I put a lot more pressure on our corners than I would say our linebackers, because the Bills are not going to threaten us with the run. And maybe the Bills come out and put 200 on the ground on us. I don't know. But it's really going to come down to the corners and stopping 14. Like, that's just what it is.
Does Frank Clark still play for the Chiefs?
You ask him, and I'm wondering the same thing as well. Through the regular season, he didn't flash as much as at all, honestly, and it kind of started to irritate me a little bit. And then a lot of people are like, "Mike, calm down. He's going to show up in the postseason. Yeah. He's going to show up when it matters." And then we didn't see him against Cleveland. Now, granted, Cleveland has a really stout offensive line, but we didn't get to see much of him against Cleveland either. So hopefully, a guy like Deion Dawkins is their left tackle. If Deion Dawkins is shutting down Frank Clark, we got bigger issues.
And my last question for you is what you, I know I'm kind of looking ahead a little bit. What you think the Chiefs going to do in the offseason? I know Sammy Watkins and Robinson both are free agents again this year. Do you think they're going to bring both of them back, or maybe one, or they probably just draft a wide receiver or be a free agency with a trade?
I would think personally, if we had an opportunity to, Sammy, I think we can. Even going into this last year offseason, I felt like Sammy Watkins was expendable, but he took a pay cut. So it was like, all right, cool. So I'm okay with letting go of Sammy Watkins. Demarcus Robinson, I think he still hasn't done enough from a stat line standpoint that we probably can get him for the low or keep him around. But ideally, the running joke is right now that Patrick Mahomes is telling Andy Reid and Brett Veach to trade away their draft haul and go up and get Donovan Smith. And so, if that's the case, then so be it. We get another weapon, but I don't see that. I don't see that shit happening.
If y'all win it this year, you know y'all gonna lose a few players because people gonna want to start. They're gonna start wanting to get some more.
People are gonna want to get that money. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, that Chiefs team can look a whole lot different next year.
I think this year's draft class, from what I've seen just on the surface, I think we could still get a good, decent receiver in the second or third round. If we're talking in the first round, I would like to see us go defense. We got to improve this defense. It's our Achilles heel, 110%.
Yeah.
Our run defense is atrocious. And I've told people several times, and like once again, going back to last offseason, let's focus on building our run defense. Force people to get into shootouts with us because it's like the Steph Curry effect, you know. You can only shoot so many threes, but he's going to make all his. Are you going to make yours? And I think with Patrick Mahomes and his Chiefs offense, they're going to take their 50-yard bombs, and they're probably going to make more than you are. And so force people to get into shootout with us, like that Monday night game we had against the Rams that was just epic and crazy. Force teams to do that against us and not, you know, keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. And the one thing that kind of frustrates me being a Chiefs fan, if anything, is we have an exotic car for our offense. We have a Lamborghini, but a Lambo does no good when it's sitting in a garage. And when people run the ball like the Cleveland Browns can or like the Baltimore Ravens can, they keep that Lambo in the garage. It does you no good there. And so if you can get people to, you know, make some mistakes and keep a couple of 3-and-outs, you get that Lambo out of the garage every once in a while. You take it to the track and you just go off. You go crazy with it.
All right. I'm gonna put you guys on the spot. Give me a winner for this game. Start with Michael.
I think the Bills take it. Unfortunately, I just don't know. Like I said, the X factor being the corners, I'm not sure if they're going to step up and show up and to take care of business. It really frightens me. And then our defense is just, I don't know. I don't know what to expect.
Hold on. You a Chiefs fan, you're a Chiefs YouTuber, and you going with the Bills to win?
He's an honest man.
I tell it like it is. I'm an NFL fan first, and I'm a Chiefs fan second.
But the Chiefs are home. I can see if y'all on the road, y'all home.
Yeah, we're home, and we got. Maybe if Arrowhead was packed and rocking like it was during the AFC Championship game, maybe we have a fighting chance.
Hey, but we saw that they made enough noise last week to kind of you know change.
It almost sounded like it was packed.
Yeah, it sounded like it was packed.
But the defense scares the crap out of me, and I'm a big believer in trench war. I'm a big believer in having good trenches, and if Chris Jones can get 2.5, 3 sacks, if Frank Clark can get a couple of pressures, then maybe we have a fighting chance. Because if Josh Allen gets enough time in that pocket, he will carve us up. And that's my fear personally. It's not without a doubt, you know, the Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense are going to do what they need to do, you know, go put up 35 plus points. It's can we hold them to 30 points at least? And I'm not sure if we can. So I have to take Buffalo, unfortunately.
All right, Kendall, who you got?
I'm going with the Chiefs 35-31 Chiefs. They're going to beat us. It's going to be a good close game, shootout. I think the Bills are peaking a little. I think they're a year too early. They're a year. I think next year they can win the Super Bowl. I mean, because they're going to be even better next year. They're going to have a draft free agent. I just think nobody expect them to come this far this year. I think the Chiefs, they still got another run in them, and I think they're going to be good this year and probably next year too. I think the Bills they're just a little too early. They're peaking too early. They're a year early. They're a year early. I'm going with the Chiefs. I think Frank Clark, I just called him out. I think he's going to get a strip set. Frank Clark's going to get a strip set this game, and that's all it's really going to take to turn the game. I'm going Chiefs 35-31.
SK.
Until further notice, got to go with Mahomes and the Chiefs, you know, until proven wrong. Especially looking at that Bills running game, I feel like their offense is more predictable. Going back to what you mentioned earlier, playing within themselves, while the Chiefs can play within themselves and outside of themselves. So, given that 2-dimension game that they have to trick plays, heel down field, doesn't matter. It's more so that Bills offense has to be structured in a way to score, and Mahomes can just score at will. Break down any play and score. So I got to go with the Chiefs this one. Still think it's going to be a close game. Kendall, you said 35-31. I'm sort of with you around there. So I'm about in the ballpark of maybe 31-27.
I'm not going to predict any scores, but I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills to upset the Kansas City Chiefs at home. Right now, the
Hey.
Chiefs are 3-point favorites at
When the
home.
Chiefs,
Why
when
do
the
you feel
Chiefs,
that way?
when the Chiefs show up in the stadium, they automatically putting 30 points on the score. You're not going to hold them to 20 points. They are walking 30 points.
But then why do you feel the Bills is going to beat the Chiefs?
I just believe in the Bills. They just been playing good.
Bill,
The Browns almost beat the Chiefs last week. I think the Bills are a better team.
Bills Mafia is going to go crazy.
Bills Mafia, yeah. Get the tables out, light them on fire, get on top of the car, and break through the table.
But I would love to see who I think's going to win. I think the Chiefs are going to win. Who would I want to see win? I would want to see the Bills win, just because that fan base would just go absolutely bananas. And that's
with my buddy.
Yeah, there's some of the best. There's some of the best fans that the NFL has to offer.
I'm going with my buddy Nick Wright from FS1. I'm going with the Chiefs.
All right, and then real quick, I want to touch on this NFC Championship game as well. Obviously, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Green Bay Packers. Antonio Brown, wide receiver, has been rolled out for this game, which I don't think matters for the Bucs because they have a lot of weapons on offense. Mike, just quick thoughts on this game.
It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be scary. I think this game is gonna either show how dangerous and how badass, if you will, Aaron Rodgers is, or it's going to show how big the Green Bay Packers messed up this offseason by taking Jordan Love. Because, like you said, the Bucs got weapons to burn. Like they make the Chiefs weapon core look kind of but because they just have weapons to burn. They have guys. If a guy miss, it's okay. That's fine because the next guy up can be a 1 on anybody else's team, and so Aaron Rodgers only has Devontae Adams, and we've seen Devontae Adams be completely scary. I've loved Devontae Adams for quite some time now. That dude is a monster at the wide receiver position. But then you got guys like Allen Lazard. Is he going to show up? We've seen Battling Scantling. He had some drops for them. Aaron Rodgers is probably going to have to put the team on his back here because the Green Bay Packers defense has been kind of shaky here and there.
Yeah, nothing new, right? Aaron carrying the Packers. He's only been doing it for most of his career, right? So
exactly. And so like I said, it's going to show one or two things. It's either going to show Aaron Rodgers was right by being upset about them taking Jordan Love. And it was just where they took Jordan Love. It wasn't the fact that they took Jordan Love. It was where you took him. I needed a wide receiver. I needed weapons. I needed an offense line. I needed something that was going to help us win this ball game, this specific game. We got here last year, and we got embarrassed by the Niners. What was going to help us win this game this year? And I think Tampa Bay, just that defense, the way they made Drew Brees leave that field was embarrassing. The way that defense is playing. That defense is playing inspired football right now. They know they got number 12 at quarterback, and they're probably trying to get him number 7, his 7th ring, and Devin White. Sorry, Devin White. Devin White, that man, he is playing like a man possessed with the hair on fire. And I think that Tampa Bay defense might be a little bit too much for Aaron Rodgers in this offense at the end of the day.
All right, well, let's pick a winner. Who's winning the game? Like, who you got?
I personally got Tampa. I think Tampa is going to they just got too much. They just got too much. Like, they got it on both sides of the ball, too. It's not just one side of the ball that's loaded. No, they got a lot. They got guys like Sue. They got Shaquille Barrett. They got JPP, Devin White. I mean, the list is forever, and that's just the defensive side of the ball. And if this offensive line has been consistently getting better, game after game after game after game, and we've seen that be a big factor last time. And then the running backs, they have weapons to burn, and I just think it's going to be too much for Green Bay at the end of the day.
And we got Julie Myers. Let's go, KBKC.
You the man out there.
Yeah,
something like that.
Kendall, SK, let me get your thoughts on the game, and let's pick a winner. Start out with Kendall.
I'm going with Tampa Bay, 31-27. Y'all know I'm a Patriots fan. It's a part of me that don't want Brady to win this game. Y'all already know why. It's a part of me that don't want.
I can see that.
That don't want him to win this game. But my heart, I'm going Brady. He's always gonna be a Patriot. So I mean, if he winning, I'm sure Bill Belichick will text him, good luck, congrats, and all that. But it's a small part of me that does not want him to win this game. It's just a little part of it. But I'm going with Tampa Bay. I'm going 31-27 Tampa.
Coach, I just got off work, man. Sorry, I got to take off the tie. SK, who you got?
Somebody mentioned that Fidel's looking studly right now. But who am I going with? I'm going with Green Bay. I think it's going to be some of that Lambeau magic. This is the moment that Aaron Rodgers has been waiting for to finally get an NFC Championship game in Lambeau, in his home field, with the possible weather being up in Wisconsin. And I think he's just so driven this year from what happened in the draft, picking Jordan Love, to possibly being the MVP of this year and just trying to set himself apart and put himself, as he's known as one of the greatest quarterbacks, but he just wants to take that next leap and separate himself from having multiple Super Bowl rings. So I think it's going to be a little bit of that Rodgers magic that we've seen. And I'm going with a score of about 28-24.
You know what's crazy about this game also is that these quarterbacks in the NFC, so Tom Brady's 43 years old and Aaron Rodgers at 37. Now, turn it to the AFC side of things, Patrick Mahomes is 25 and Josh Allen is 24.
That's the first game for Sunday, right?
Yeah, the NFC Championship game is the first game on Sunday. Yeah. But I'm going to go with Tampa Bay, and I think Tom Brady's going to get a seventh ring.
The seventh ring.
Yeah, so
no matter
but we Raiders fans, so I just can't.
I know, man. I know. But hey,
outside of that, but just particularly looking at the field, though, honestly, I'm still not even with my Raiders hate. But I just feel like Aaron Rodgers he's a made man this year. He's putting the league on notice that, as Stephen A. Smith would say, he's a bad man. I'm putting the league on notice that I'm one of the best, especially after his somewhat down year, if you can call it a down year. He's coming back with a vengeance. So I just see him just rallying his off and getting his Super Bowl and everybody off his back.
Yeah. Well, hey, Michael, we just want to say thank you for hopping on tonight and talking.
I do have one more question for Mike.
Yeah.
Circling back around to the Chiefs. So we've seen that Bieniemy's been having all these interviews. He's a hot coaching name, but it seems like he's not going to get it once again. Do you feel like that can bring any tension to the locker room next year, as players know that you want to leave to become a coach? So are you 100%, investing in anything that we have to do? Can you feel like there could be any friction there?
Oh, I don't think there's any friction at all. Everybody knows how good he is. They, like we were saying before, that the Chiefs are, when you win a Super Bowl or when your team is consistently successful, people want to get paid. And everybody understand that it's a business first. And I don't think anybody will hold that against Bieniemy. I was telling a friend earlier is that I think at this point, if I'm Eric Bieniemy and I don't get hired, okay, that's fine. I won't interview for another job. Patrick Mahomes is going to be 20. He's 25 now. I think he's going to be 26 next year. Andy Reid's not going to coach forever. I'll hang out with Andy and Pat for the next 10 years when that contract comes up. Pat's still going to go, once he's, 33, 34, 35, when that contract comes up and he still wants to go and I'm still there, let's go at it again. I'll just hang out at that point in Kansas City. And I told my friend, I was like, if I'm Eric Bieniemy at that point, every time we see a team, I'm going to hang 40 on them. Like, that's just what it is. If I can, I'm going to hang 40 on you to prove to you that you made a bad hire. If I see the Detroit Lions, I'm going to hang 40 on you. If I see the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm going to hang 40 on you. If I see Houston, I'm going to hang 40 on you. I'm going to disrespect you every time I see you because you disrespected me. And I think if anything, it's going to fuel the locker room. It's going to fuel that offense and saying, this is our OC. This is our guy. He deserves to be a head coach anywhere in the league, better than that guy, and that guy. So why is he not getting a job? Okay, that's fine. We're just going to hang 40 on you and call it a day. And so I think if anything, it brings the locker room closer together. I don't think anybody will hold any grudge against him if he left. They know how good he is. They understand. And when you're good like that, it's your time to get paid. When your number's called and it's your time to get that big payday, cash in, because get a lot of paydays as a head coach or as a player. So when it's time for you to cash in. And it's time for him to cash in and nobody wants to sign him. And I think that's not disrespectful, but definitely heartbreaking for sure, because we've seen several coaches come from Andy Reid's coaching tree and have great and tremendous success. Doug Peterson has a ring. Jim Harbaugh has a ring. Matt Nagy should have one because he has a stellar defense, but that's not working out for him. So we've seen several coaches come from the Andy Reid coaching tree and have tremendous success. And so now it's like, it's one of those things. Ron Rivera even comes from the Andy Reid coaching tree. So it's one of those things now. It's like, it's kind of heartbreaking, but I'll hang out with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and we just keep running the thing. How about that?
You just made a great point, and it just kind of flashed in my head that Andy Reid's coaching tree is very successful.
Extremely successful.
Then you look at Bill Belichick's coaching tree.
Horrible.
And it is suspect.
Horrible.
But they always go to New England to get coaches.
And they always make their way back to New England. Josh
That
McDaniels.
too.
Matt Patricia is probably going to be back in New England
He's
next
back.
year. So
Yep.
he's back
Yeah, it just-
He's
officially.
already
It
back.
just clicked in my mind.
That's
like,
crazy.
Andy, you would want to go get an Andy Reid on the track record. You possibly can go get a Super Bowl. On
Yeah.
the track record of Belichick, you might not even make the playoffs. You might be one of the worst teams.
I
in
think
the
with
you-
the people that's up on the Belichick, they try to go to another team and carry the Belichick system. They try to be Belichick for that team. And
Because I
they can't
mean,
be
honestly,
Belichick.
outside of Brian Flores and Bill
Flores.
O'Rien, which for all his ills, he did. Right, exactly.
Yeah,
For all his
yeah.
ills, he was solid.
Yeah, he was
he got
solid.
to the playoffs a couple times.
He was solid.
he
So
was
I mean, outside of those two, you look at Charlie
Eric
Weiss
Mangini.
in Notre Dame. You look at
Eric Mangini with the
Eric
Jets
Mangini, you look at
and the Browns.
and the Browns.
Matt Patricia, Josh
Matt
McDaniels.
Patricia, I'm thinking of Romeo Crennel. Like great
Charlie
coach,
White.
great coach
White.
on her own merit in New England, but then
Yeah.
he left that Belichick
I
tree.
mean, Mike Vrabel's been okay.
Mike
Mike
Vrabel's been
Vrabel,
good. He's a good
Mike
coach.
Vrabel, Brian Flores, great job so far. And then
I think with Vrabel, he kind of branched off a little bit, and I think he got his feet wet elsewhere,
Yeah.
and then come back into the
Well,
league that way.
with him, I think it had a lot to do with the Romeo Cornell because he was with the Texans at the moment as well
Yeah,
with
yeah.
him. So, all right, but hey, man, we appreciate you hopping on and talking some football
Oh,
with us. Hey,
Anytime.
for all our viewers out there, where can they follow you on social media? YouTube.
So I'm on Instagram at KBKC79. I'm at YouTube KBKC79, or just look up Footballology. That's my thing. And I'm always talking NFL. My primary my focus when it comes to the NFL is team building and rebuilds and just the whole aspect that goes into that. I think that is always intrigued me. I'm a huge Madden player, but I play a lot of franchise mode. But it's always intriguing how a team is built over the course of time. We've seen several rebuilds happen and everything, and so I always want to talk about that on my YouTube channel. So I try to release videos once a week about just something along those lines about how to build your team and what a good successful build looks like, and some things to avoid when your team is building doing a rebuild or trying to go to win a championship.
Yeah, hey, let's catch up in a couple weeks for Super Bowl week. Super Bowl week, I guess I should say.
Let's see if they make it. We gotta see if they make it.
Hey, but he's a football fan, so regardless of the situation, he's
I'll
gonna
be
know
there.
what's going on.
I'll be
SK,
there.
you had a question?
Just want to make a quick look. Can I plug myself real quick?
Of course, go ahead.
Please. I wrote a book. Get a copy of Chris's Candy Store Adventure. It teaches kids how to spend and count money. Available on Amazon, and I have paperback versions that I can ship anywhere, any place that you're at. Quick little plug.
Okay,
Make
that's
sure you
what's up.
pick up your coffee.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
for sure. That's awesome.
All right, gentlemen. Well, again, appreciate everyone hopping on, and have a great night, and we'll talk to you on Sunday.
All right, y'all
I
have a
appreciate
good
you
one.
guys.
Have a good one.